I'm painting small paintings. Like they're, what are they, 4x6? 4x6, they fit in these little frames for a patron who gives these for Christmas presents every year. And I'm going to show you the steps that I go through to paint them. First, I cut the paper into small pieces. I'm using Gamboge yellow, it's a yellow color, to paint the background. He asked me to paint them in my style. He wanted 10 horses, some Longhorns, and a cat. So I won't be painting the cat with this, but I'll be painting the Longhorns and the horses in this style. Okay. So I put some of the yellow in a little cup. I have some clean water. I know the jar doesn't look clean, but I'm going to pour a little bit of water in here. That's too much. Pour some back. Okay. Then I'll mix it up really well. And I'm just going to paint every single little paper yellow. That's how it's done. To make the background on my little pieces of yellow paper, which have now dried, it's the next evening, I'm going to cover them with really thin toilet paper. This is not your high quality stuff. This is your porta potty special here. And this is what works. I'm going to be painting right through it. Yeah. Okay, we're getting it. Yeah. It's kind of hard to get it all where you want it. So my palette is Southwestern. The colors I'm using are, these are Lucas paints. I like them because they come in big tubes. Cobalt turquoise and what's this? Burnt sienna and English red light and burnt umber. Sometimes I use sepia or Van Dyke brown, but I'm not going to do that this time because the pages are so small for such dark colors. Okay. So I'm going to shut off the video and put it on fast forward because you don't need to wait around while I'm mixing all this paint. I'm going to put a little bit of paint in each little cup and put some water in there, and you'll see how I do it. I'm going to mix up the paint, make a thin mixture of the paint, and then I'm going to dab it on the toilet paper covered watercolor paper. So there's all my little background pieces. You have to wait till it dries halfway. Here's the thing. If you take the toilet paper off while it's still soaking wet, you lose all these cute little lines. Well, they're not cute, but they're nice texture. And all the watercolor just bleeds together. But if you wait until halfway, it's halfway dry, then all those little lines will show up, and it'll give the paper a really great texture. Now, how long you have to wait depends on a lot of stuff. You just have to experiment around and then take it off at the right time. Learn how to take it off at the right time. I can wait half an hour some days on a nice hot day when the sun is shining. Half an hour. On a humid day when it's cool and rainy, oh God, 4 hours, you know? So you just keep watching it, and when you see that it's done, you take it off. I will show you when it gets to that point. Okay, I'm back. It's been drying for 2.5 hours. It's probably because it's so cold. It's like 67 degrees in here. And it's almost dry enough. Maybe a little bit risky, but I think it'll do. I think it'll work. And I just peel the layers of toilet paper off. And hopefully they don't stick. But you see that the lines created where the toilet paper wrinkled make a texture on the paper. And I love that. I invented this technique. I tried many things to paint through to get that texture. And this seems to be the one I like the best. Although for some bigger paintings I use cloth, or you can use Kleenex and get almost the same thing. But you have to separate the little sheets of Kleenex. It has to be 1 ply. The paint won't go through 2 ply. And if you get Kleenex that has some kind of whatever, aloe vera or whatever they put in Kleenex these days, some kind of scent or something, it resists paint and it won't go through. So get the cheap stuff. Just like we need the cheap toilet paper. It's the best. Well, yeah, there's a little piece there I wanted to get. And that's interesting. This edge has dried more. If you're in a hurry, you can speed up this process with a hairdryer, but you run all kinds of risks blowing air on it because air will move paint around. And I've been successful with it with hairdryers, but I don't see why I need to be in that big of a hurry. What I do in the meantime is I work on some other painting while I'm waiting for this to dry. Or I do something else, Photoshop or something. Uh-oh. That reminded me I'm supposed to post a painting on Facebook that I've forgotten. Okay, I'll have to find one. There we go. Now, these are still soaking wet, So you have to wait for them to dry. Since they are wet, they are a little bit darker. They will dry a little bit lighter than what you see right here. But you can see now also why I painted the yellow underneath. The first coat of paint was yellow. And it glows. It makes them glow. And I love that. Watercolor is transparent, so if you put one layer on top of another layer, you'll get a kind of a luminescence. You have to experiment around with different colors, and that's what I did. And I found my palette of burnt sienna and turquoise and southwestern type colors. Works good with a yellow underneath. And then when it leaves little things like this, little spaces, people ask, oh, did you do that on purpose? I go, yeah, that's a chip. That's a chip off the cave wall there. Anyway, I'm going to be painting a couple of Longhorns on this background that I've painted already, and it's dry. And I just want to show you what I'm going to use before I put it on time lapse and paint the whole thing. I'm going to outline it in watercolor pen. This one's Statler Mars Graphic 3000 Duo. And the colors I'm going to be using are Lucas. No, that's not it. Lucas Burnt Sienna. And a little bit of turquoise, cobalt turquoise, and there you go. Don't forget to leave me a like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.